Yeah, that's a great question. And I agree like 100% or more than 100%.
Okay.
Stigma, stigma is the most challenging thing to deal with and solve. A single doctor or a single person cannot do it because it's on
Right.
the societal level. So mental health has always been stigmatized, or mental illness, I mean, not mental health.
Right.
And mental health has never been given its due importance or recognition.
Yeah.
So at least in India, I would say it's still not mainstream. Like psychiatry is a mainstream medical specialty in the West. In India, a psychiatrist is like in some places, I would say, like NIMHANS is still one of the best institutions and is an
Mhm.
exception where psychiatry is kind of, it's dedicated to mental health and neurosciences.
Wow, really?
So NIMHANS is like neurology and psychiatry specifically and neurosurgery. So it's devoted entirely to the brain sciences, right? So, so NIMHANS is one of the few institutions where
Exceptions.
it's exceptions where it's given its due importance, and psychiatry is kind of glorified in NIMHANS. So even within psychiatry, there are sub branches, like say people focus on child psychiatry, autism. Some people focus on schizophrenia. Some people do de-addiction psychiatry. So even within psychiatry, there are like fellowships and sub areas of training, and all of that is available in NIMHANS. So what we see in NIMHANS is close to the ideal picture. It's no way
Mhm.
ideal, but it's close to what we like to see.
Be across India if we had to have it, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
across
yeah.
all the major
Compared to
cities.
other places which are much worse off. So there's definitely more scope for improvement even in NIMHANS. But NIMHANS is one of the best, has set one of the best standards. There's guidelines that have come from NIMHANS that people across the world follow. So
Really?
it has really generated a lot of knowledge. And it's, I think,
That's so cool.
more than what it can actually. The volume that we see in NIMHANS is the highest in the world, I think, in terms of both psychiatry and neurology. It sees one of the highest footfalls of new patients. So it's a wealth of knowledge and data.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyways, the stigma runs across different classes and economic or social or whatever. So it's prevalent across the board and there's no exceptions. There's very few exceptions to it. So, like you said, even in people who are formally educated or people who aren't formally educated, everybody has stigma about psychiatry. Nobody wants, they want to keep it hidden, secluded in
Right.
a corner, buried deep down as much as possible. We see it manifest in different ways. So, in the educated, for example, we've seen people brush off minor mental illness as stress. अरे थोड़ा सा stress था. It could have been a mild depressive episode, which can be brushed off as stress. And those mild anxiety, mild depression cases don't go to a psychiatrist. They would go to, say, astrologer or
Which doctor I was about to say.
yeah, or yeah, or all sorts of other resources. Now, some can get away
Right.
with it because some of these minor mental illnesses can be situational. So, say a life stressor that's really bothering you and you're not able to cope with that stress. And that could be situational. And when that situation goes away with time, or you kind of learn to cope with it, you
Mhm.
come out of that and then you're back to normal. So that could be minor mental illness that was just happened once in your life and probably won't happen again.